we're gonna see lipoprotein metabolism. Pretty important one, people. You should not miss it. Okay. Okay. So lipoprotein. Lipoprotein means what? Lipids and proteins. Lipids and proteins. Okay. So what is a lipid here and what is a protein here? So the lipids are your dietary lipids, whatever you are eating, which get absorbed and inside your intestine. Dietary lipids. Okay. Now what type of protein is involving here in the lipoprotein? The protein which gets involved here is your apoproteins. What type of protein? We used to call it as apoproteins. So what are the classes of apoproteins we need to see? So what are the 4 classes of apoproteins we are going to see? Number 1 is your apoprotein A. Number 1 is your apoprotein A. Number 2 is your apoprotein B. Number 2 is your apoprotein B. And then number 3 is your apoprotein E. Apoprotein E. Then you have 4th class of protein called as apoprotein C. Apoprotein C. Apo C. Okay, good. So what is the main function of apoprotein A, which is a activator, especially A1? You have a subclass of A1, which is a LCAT activator, which is a LCAT activator. What is mean by LCAT? One time they asked this question. Expand LCAT. Lecithin, cholesterol, acyltransferase. Acyltransferase is your LCAT. And in the case of apoprotein B, we have a 2 protein we're gonna see. One is your apoprotein B48 and another one is your apoprotein B100. Apoprotein B100. Both take part in the receptor lipoprotein interaction. Receptor lipoprotein interaction. And apoprotein E is also take part in the receptor lipoprotein interaction. Apoprotein E also take part in the receptor lipoprotein interaction. And apoprotein C contains apoprotein C2, which is an activator of lipoprotein lipase. Lipoprotein lipase. Which is the activator of lipoprotein lipase. What are the sources of lipid? Dietary foods. Very good. So whatever the dietary foods you are eating, it will be absorbed in the intestine. Whatever the dietary lipids you are eating, it will be absorbed in the intestine. And they all packed in a special bag called as chylomicrons. They all packed in a special bag called as chylomicrons. I would rather draw it. So whatever the triacyl glycerols you are taking, and whatever the cholesterol you are taking, cholesterol esters you are taking, and the free fatty acid, vitamins, fat soluble vitamins, all of them are packed inside your intestine in the form of a special bag called as what? Chylomicrons. Now, this chylomicron have to travel from intestine to blood. In order to travel from intestine to blood, it requires the apoprotein for the interaction. So what is the apoprotein which mediates them? Very, very important thing, people. Understand. So this chylomicron is getting bounded by a special apoprotein. This chylomicron is getting bounded by a special apoprotein called as ApoB48. ApoB48. Chylomicron. and then you have a TAG, and whatever you have a cholesterol esters or whatever it is, all of them will be binding together with the apoprotein B48. So what is the main purpose of this apoprotein B48? The apoprotein B48 will bind with the chylomicron and it transfers the chylomicron from small intestine to lymph, and then this apoprotein chylomicron complex may goes to the blood. So now what happened? Apoprotein B48 chylomicron complex may entered into blood, and in the blood is a circulating fluid, right? So it will get collided with the other proteins, right? So they get collided with the other proteins like the apoprotein E and apoprotein C2, apoprotein E and apoprotein C2. Now what happened? They have to enter into the liver. Then they have to enter into the liver. But the problem is this chylomicron is too large to enter into the liver. This chylomicron is too large to enter into liver. So it remains in a circulation, and whenever they go under contact with the adipose tissue, what happened was this apoprotein B48 will be there. Sorry, apoprotein C2 will be there. Apoprotein C2 will get activated. This apoprotein C2 will get activated. And this, what is the main function of apoprotein C2? I told you. What is the main function of apoprotein C2? Come on. What is the main function of apoprotein C2? Activation of lipoprotein lipase. Yes or no? Activation of lipoprotein lipase. And what is that lipoprotein lipase will do? Transfers the triacyl glycerol to your adipose tissue and keep it for storage. It leads to the migration of a triacyl glycerol to your adipose tissue and gets stored. So what happened? The triacyl glycerol in the chylomicron have been transported to your adipose tissue. Now the size of the bag will be reduced, right? Because most of the triacyl glycerols have been eliminated. So the size of the bag will be reduced or not? Yes or no? Now what happened? This bag contains only a few triacyl glycerides and cholesterol esters, and apoprotein C2, once it finishes its function, it gets discarded from your chylomicron. So what are the apoprotein? Now it contains apoprotein B48 and apoprotein E. Apoprotein B48 and apoprotein E. So this is called as the reduced size of a chylomicron is called as chylomicron remnant. What do they call it as? Chylomicron remnant. Now this chylomicron remnant can enter into liver, right? What is the apoprotein which mediates them? Tell me, what is the apoprotein which is left here without doing its function, getting attached? Tell me, what is apoprotein? Apoprotein E, exactly. So this apoprotein E will mediate the transport of chylomicron remnant into liver. Chylomicron remnant into liver. Now, what happened? Chylomicron remnant will break in the liver. Chylomicron remnant will break in the liver. Remnant will breaks. And all the lipids have been used up. Now what happened? All the endogenous lipids have been organized. Because we have our body cells also which synthesizes lipids, right? Are organized, and this formed endogenous lipids will be packed inside. Yes or no? For example, vitamin D, it can be synthesized from your skin, right? So all the endogenous lipids have been organized, and they have been packed in the form of VLDL. Now we have what? So we have again a cholesterol and triacyl glycerides. All of them are packed in the form of VLDL. So this VLDL have to transfer from liver to lymph. This VLDL have to transfer from liver to lymph. In order to transport that VLDL from liver to lymph, we require another protein called as apoprotein B100. Apoprotein B100. Now this apoprotein B100 complex will enter into lymph, and then it goes to where? Same, the cycle repeats. VLDL with apoprotein B100 will goes to the blood. Will goes to where? To the blood. Again it undergo collision. What are the two apoproteins will get attached? Type faster. One, right, Surya? Exactly. What are the two other apoproteins will get attached? Apoprotein E and apoprotein C2 will get attaches in this VLDL complex. Will get attaches with this VLDL complex. So now again the size is large, it cannot goes into the liver. So what happened? It goes to the adipose tissue. Again when it goes to adipose tissue, what happens here? What is the main function of apoprotein C2? Tell me the main function of apoprotein C2. Apo C2 will do what? Will go and activates the lipoprotein lipase. When the lipoprotein lipase is getting activated, what happened? Migration of TAG will be there, right? When there is a migration of TAG from the VLDL, what happens is this VLDL size will be decreased, right? Yes or no? When the VLDL size will be decreased, then they were call it as IDL. Then they were call it as IDL. With the what are the complexes which get attached with them? What are the complexes which get attached? What and apoprotein? What and what apoprotein? Apoprotein E and apoprotein B100. Exactly, apoprotein B100 will be there. Now what happened? This IDL can have a two important function. Either it can goes to the liver, either it can goes to the liver, or it can interact with the HDL, or it can interact with the HDL. HDL contains ApoA1. So what is the main function of ApoA1? It is an activator of LCAT, lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase. Now this lecithin cholesterol acyl transferase will mediates the conversion of your IDL into LDL. Mediates the conversion of your IDL into LDL. Now this LDL contains only one apoprotein, that is a apoprotein B100. Apoprotein B100, and then this formed LDL will go and interact with LDL receptor. Now this formed LDL will go and interact with LDL receptor. Okay, now this LDL receptor will transport the LDL into the cell, and inside your cell your LDL breaks, cholesterol will be taken up, and for the cholesterol will be taken up for your steroid hormone synthesis. Steroid hormone synthesis. Okay. Okay. So, and HDL contains importantly what? The main thing you need to know is A1. What is the main function of apoprotein A1? Activation of LCAT. Very good. So because of this activation of LCAT, this is so called as good cholesterol. HDL is so called as good cholesterol. And what is a bad cholesterol? LDL is a bad cholesterol. Bad cholesterol. Now what happened? This deficiency of ApoB48. Deficiency of ApoB48 causes A beta lipoproteinemia. A beta lipoproteinemia. Very, very important MCQ. Deficiency of your apoprotein B48 causes what? A beta lipoproteinemia. And apart from that, what you need to know, there is a deficiency of your apoprotein C2. Deficiency of your apoprotein C2. deficiency causes type 1 hyperlipoproteinemia. Type 1 hyperlipoproteinemia. Okay, type 1 hyperlipoproteinemia. Then you have a apoprotein E defect. Apoprotein E defect causes what? Type 3 dysbeta lipoproteinemia. Dysbeta lipoproteinemia. This dysbeta lipoproteinemia is also called as remnant removal disease. Remnant removal disease. Okay. Next, you have your LDL receptor defect. LDL receptor defect causes type 2A familial hyperlipoproteinemia. Hyperlipoproteinemia. Okay, clear? Okay, there are two more things you need to know here. Deficiency of your LCAT enzyme causes Norham's disease. And then the transport of cholesterol inside the cell is mediated by two proteins. One is your ABCA and another one is your ABCG1. A1 and G1. Defect in the ABC A1 and G1 causes Tangiers disease. This is a defect in the ABC A1 and G1 gene causes Tangiers disease. Okay. Okay. So just fatty acid synthesis is the enzyme rate limiting enzyme is pretty important. You don't need to know about every single point of fatty acid synthesis. Rate limiting enzyme is acetyl CoA carboxylase. Acetyl CoA carboxylase. And in the case of degradation, pretty important. Degradation is mediated by beta oxidation process. Beta oxidation process. So the location of each area is really important, because in a beta oxidation we have a various type of fatty acid synthesis. Yes or no? We have a various type of fatty acid. What are the classification based on the chain length? Very long chain and long chain fatty acid, medium chain fatty acid, short chain fatty acid. Yes or no? So the very long chain and long chain fatty acid degradation occurs at peroxisomes. Where does it occur? In the peroxisome. Medium chain, mitochondria. And the short chain is mediated by lysosomal hydrolysis. Okay, so now this beta oxidation phases. What are the three phases? What are the three phases of beta oxidation? Number one, activation of your free fatty acid. Number two is your transport of acyl CoA. Number three is your beta oxidation proper. Beta oxidation proper. These are the three steps. So what is a rate limiting enzyme? So the rate limiting step of your beta oxidation is pretty important. Carnitine acyl transferase 1. Carnitine acyl transferase 1. Because this carnitine is a transfer protein which transport acyl CoA from acyl CoA transport is mediated by this protein, transport protein carnitine. Very important MCQ. Okay. Next important thing is this regulation. This regulation of your beta oxidation of fatty acid. Number one, your entire carnitine shuttle. Your carnitine shuttle is inhibited by malonyl CoA. Is inhibited by what? Malonyl CoA. What is the end product of even chain fatty acid? End product of even chain fatty acid. Okay, I will tell you later. Now finish up the regulations and then we will discuss it. Okay. Next important thing is deficiency of your medium chain fatty acid acyl CoA dehydrogenase. Medium chain acyl CoA dehydrogenase complex causes Jamaican vomiting sickness or SIDS. Either it causes a Jamaican vomiting sickness, or SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. This Jamaican vomiting sickness is due to the consumption of a ackee fruit. Because this ackee fruit contains a special toxin called as hypoglycin A. Very important MCQ. Next, deficiency of peroxisomal catalase. Deficiency of peroxisomal catalase causes Zellweger syndrome. This catalase enzyme is present in only 3 locations. One is your brain, another one is your liver, another one is your kidney. Peroxisomal catalase is present in only 3 locations: brain, liver, and kidney. That's why the Zellweger syndrome is also known as cerebrohepatorenal syndrome. What do we call it? Cerebrohepatorenal syndrome. Okay. Now, apart from that, there is a deficiency of phytanic acid oxidase. Deficiency of phytanic acid oxidase. Phytanic acid oxidase causes Repsom's disease. Repsom's disease. Very important MCQ. And clinical features also one time they asked. What are the clinical features of Repsom's disease? Cerebral ataxia and peripheral neuropathy. Okay, one time they asked this clinical feature of your Repsom's disease. Make sure you answer it right. Okay, so what are the end product? So the fat chains, if it is a end product, if it is a even chain fatty acid, if it is a even chain fatty acid, then the end product is acetyl CoA plus acetyl CoA. And if it is a odd chain fatty acid, it will be acetyl CoA plus propionyl CoA. Acetyl CoA plus propionyl CoA. Very, very important MCQ paper. These are the highlighted points on your fatty acid synthesis and degradation. Next important thing is your cholesterol synthesis. So in the cholesterol synthesis, The important ones are, who's unmuting them? 1 second. So in cholesterol synthesis, the important one is your rate limiting step, HMG-CoA reductase. HMG-CoA reductase. Okay, and this HMG-CoA reductase is inhibited by statins, drugs with the suffix of statin. So when you give any atorvastatin or whatever the drugs, they are the lipid lowering drugs. This will inhibit the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. This will inhibit the enzyme HMG-CoA reductase. So what is the important steps? I'll write only important step, but it is not necessary. Just the statins inhibits HMG-CoA reductase. Enough. But it carries a 5-star grading. This 1 point carries a 5-star grading. Okay. Just I'm writing important steps. So your acetyl-CoA will combine with acetyl-CoA and converts into acetoacetyl-CoA. And this acetoacetyl-CoA will combine with one more acetyl-CoA and converts into HMG-CoA. This HMG-CoA will be converted into mevalonate. This mevalonate will be converted into squalene. Squalene will be converted into lanosterol. Lanosterol will be converted into desmosterol. Then desmosterol will be converted into cholesterol. Okay, these are the important points regarding the cholesterol synthesis. Next important content is your ketone body synthesis. So your ketone body is very, very important highlights. I'm only writing the highlights, people, don't worry about it. So first step is your rate limiting step. Rate limiting step is HMG-CoA synthase. HMG-CoA synthase. And then second important point is your, sorry, what do you call it? Second important point is your on prolonged starvation. On prolonged starvation, your brain, heart, and skeletal muscle uses ketone bodies as an energy source. uses ketone bodies as a energy source. Very, very important MCQ, whatever I am writing. Energy source. Number 3, test for the detection of ketone bodies. Test for the detection of ketone bodies. Ketone bodies. Rothera's test. What is the test? Rothera's test. Rothera's test is used for the detection of ketone bodies. Okay, very, very important MCQ people.